is a pharmacy. And this is a rover, a new technology, or also called robot. What has a pharmacy to do with a robot? To answer that question, Christian and me created a short movie to get a better insight into how robots are supporting pharmacies nowadays in terms of supply chain management. The common robots used in pharmacies are mostly from the brand Rover. However, since that is the most important robot known yet, the movie will explain the functions and supporting activities of such a rover.
In order to get a short overview of what will be researched and analyzed in the movie, and to answer the central question, a methodology table was created. The table explains which questions have been answered and by which source. Our first research question is, how did the old process look like? Second one is, how does the current process look like? The third one is, what are the benefits of robotization for pharmacies? The fourth one is, how does this technology deal with possible security issues and breakdowns? The fifth one is, does robotization affect sustainability in the supply chain? The sixth one is, how does robotization affect the employees and different supply chain partners of pharmacies? Seventh is, what are the customers' reactions? And the last one is, what would be the costs of robotization for pharmacies? In order to be able to judge about the differences between working in a pharmacy without any robot or newest technology and with a tool like Rover, Mrs. Opphoven from the Kreuz Pharmacy in Germany was so kind to accept an interview with us and answered us several interesting questions concerning this topic. In the old way of working, the warehouse of the pharmacy was at the basement of the actual shop. That meant that as soon as the transporter with new packages arrived, at least one colleague had to grab the delivery and store it in the basement. Furthermore, all the new packages and products needed to be documented. That had been done by writing down every single product into a table. That table was then representative for all components in the warehouse. As soon as a product was taken out of the warehouse, the table needed to be adjusted, also manually. However, since the newest technology in form of a robot, in this case the rover, has been developed and implemented, the warehousing part is much more faster and easier. The delivery will be taken from one employee and he will then place the products on an assembly belt. A QR scanner scans the codes of the products, stores them where they are supposed to be stored, and updates the table with all inventories. This is all done by the rover automatically. It is much more efficient compared to the approach before. However, the transportation procedure remained the same as before. The delivery man just places his pallets with all products at the goods arrival station and leaves again. As already mentioned before, the information system within the pharmacy will be updated automatically after the products went through the QR scanner. Compared to the steps at the old process, it is easier now and part of the work which is done by a robot now and not by a human anymore. This saves time for the employee, which they could use for other important tasks. An additional task, which is done by the rover and the information system, is that it shows shortages of products to reorder them, and possible errors of the rover will be shown by the information system. The product assortment decision will also be done by the rover in cooperation with the information system and does not need to be conducted by a human anymore as well. In order to provide you with a better image of how the process looks like, we included this short clip of the exact process.
After comparing the old and the new process of a pharmacy in general, we would like to talk about some benefits when making use of a robot. As there are many benefits for a pharmacy after implementing a robot, we want to name the most important ones. The first one is that there is now an all-automated storage system which makes the incoming goods procedure much more faster and easier. Furthermore, a separated warehouse with integrated cooling function for some particular products is not needed anymore. The robot can distinguish between products which needs to be cooled and has an integrated cooling function. Mrs. Ophofen indicated, and research showed, that pharmacists having a robot in the pharmacy have much more time to consult clients properly. Before the robot was implemented, the pharmacists needed to go in the basement and search for the products. This is all done by the robot now and saves a lot of time. Consequently, clients are much more happier and satisfied. They spend more time with the pharmacist, which makes them feel understood and that someone cares about them. However, when we talk about new technologies, there are always risks and challenges involved. In that case, the technology was generally accepted by the pharmacies really quick. Anyway, the pharmacies have to deal with eventually breakdowns or errors occurring regarding their robots. In our interview, Mrs. Ophofen said that they work with the robot already for 3 years and there has never been a breakdown yet. It occurs sometimes that the package lies the wrong way and blocks the other package. In that case, the robot sends a message to the information system and the computer then shows that there is an error and what kind of an error. The pharmacists then know about the error and eliminate it as soon as possible so the processes can continue. However, those errors occur so rarely that it almost does not affect the process and the company's performance at all.
Another point are the partners and employees themselves. How does the robot affect employees and partners of the pharmacy? Partners are not really affected by the robot. The delivery company has no changes in their process, and also orders and reorderings follow the same steps as before. But for the employee, there was a significant change. Like mentioned before already, there are a lot of processes which are done by the robot now and have been done by the employees before. That saves a lot of time. Furthermore, the automated warehouses shows when to replenish and what. That is also an advantage for the employees in terms of time saving. However, the employees had to conduct staff training in order to be able to work properly with the robot. Another aspect we analyzed is the customer reactions towards such a new invention. However, Mrs. Ophofen from Kreuz Pharmacy told us that customers are in the most cases really amazed about the new technology and how fast it is. They often ask if they could see how the robot is working, and consequently the pharmacy offers open days where customers have the opportunity to see how the robot is working and actually functioning.
Last but not least, we want to have a look at the costs. It is always important to know how much a new invention costs, what the features are, and if it's worth for a small business like a pharmacy to implement such a new invention. Therefore, not only initial investment is important, but also the maintenance and the return of investment. The initial investment of buying a robot, depending on the size and model, is between 80,000 and 130,000 euros. Maintenance will be done by the offering company itself, since they have the specialists. However, maintenance will be conducted twice a year. The return of an investment is after 7 to 10 years, but that also depends on the location of the pharmacy as well as the amount of inhabitants of the location and the daily visitors of a pharmacy. To conclude, we can summarize that the benefits exceeds the cost and that is worth the investment. That is due to the time a pharmacy saves in their daily activities. It affects supply chain management in pharmacies by improving the process speed, improved warehousing using the workspace more efficiently by easy handling of the robot, and by improved information systems due to link to robot. Out of the interview, we took the information that independent from the size of a pharmacy, every pharmacy should consider investing in a robot such a robot and consequently benefit from all the features and advantages that come with the robot. Thank you for watching our movie, and we hope that you have now enough information concerning pharmacies and robotization in the 4.0 industry.